I don't know what's going on with my head. Is it supposed to part on that side or shit, man? I don't know. It is what it is. All right. I don't know what the hell's happening. Yeah. Wow. This all sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess today isn't donation night anymore on the East Coast. A lot of people forgot about it. Let's see. I was talking to Mike King while I was eating food. He's cool. Yeah, I like him. He's cool. I think he's one of the only few other people that just kind of goes with the facts and sticks with that. Don't get crazy with any wild speculation. Hey, thanks, M10. Let's see. So I got some emails. I'll play like the audio of different things. Let's see. Cindy sent me something. So did Lisa.
But I wanted you to have your say. I wanted you to be able to say out loud for everyone to hear what this means to you and your family.
This is anything but justice. This is the opposite of our will. There was no majority believing that this was acceptable. I want to honor all the police officers, the FBI, and all the people that work their tail off. The failure is at the court level, 100%. But the men, boots on the ground, and the women that were out there working, I want to honor everything that they did for our children, 100%. The fault is in leadership and the people that you place this evidence upon. They were weak. They decided to play God and decide what this man's decision should be, and not a jury. Not his peers. They, so that's where we are today.
Walk me through what happened. Brian Engine, did some really great reporting at the top of this show here. But tell me from your perspective how the last 3 days have played out.
I would say ever since Hitler demanded an independent investigation, they couldn't get away from this case fast enough. They've done everything to make this case go away. So I don't know what that entails, but he said he was going to have an independent investigator, and all of a sudden we seemed like we were on rails to get rid of this case and make a plea deal. I mean, he's guilty. We all know he's guilty. There's more than enough evidence, but it's tough. It's tough to put a community through this, and it could be bad for reputations and business identities, and there's fallout. But this isn't the will of the victims. This is just one person making a decision, and it doesn't reflect what we were asking for.
Steve, did anybody ever call you from the prosecutor's office to just personally discuss this with you? Did anybody offer to meet with you in person to go over this potential plan?
We have meetings all the time particularly a lot of times on Fridays. We had this regular meeting that we have to try basically do an update of what's going on, where things are at, because Idaho is actually an amazing state where.
So I don't know. So are they saying that they didn't meet? I thought he was one of the people that they met with. It sounds like the Kernodals are really angry too.
Really does care about people. We just get one or two, people who just don't care about the victims and don't care about justice, and it's easy to take the weight out. It's easy to make an excuse and say, I'm doing this for the victims, even though I've never interviewed the victims. I've never really talked to them to find out what their true feelings are. So here we are. We're stuck, and we can't get out of it. I ask your audience if anybody knows Judge Hitler, reach out to him and ask him to put his foot down and not accept this offer. It doesn't reflect anything in Idaho. This is not justice. We had an outsider come to our community.
Oh, can he do that?
In their sleep while they're getting a college education, doing everything they should do, and we don't have the courage to hold him accountable. No plea deal.
Does anybody know? Is that possible, you guys? Is that a possibility? That Judge Hitler can just sort of not accept it? I mean, that'd be amazing. Because you know what's funny is like all the Probergers right now are like, oh man, Jesus, sounds like he did it. Then as soon as the judge goes, I'm not accepting this plea deal, they go, oh look, he's innocent now. I mean, it's weird because it's almost too late now because it's the fact that the media is all reporting, oh, he's going to accept a plea deal. It sort of shows that he's going to admit that he did it, and then all of a sudden you rescind it. You know, I mean, everybody out there's already heard that he said he did it. You know.
Let's go for this guy, 100%. Let's do it, and that's how this family stands.
Yeah, me too.
I know that, it's no secret your daughter, Kaylee.
So here's the thing is, I can actually see both sides. If they did it because of what he says about the investigation, then there's no excuse at all. But if you did it for, like if somebody gets the death penalty, they get like 1,000 appeals, and then for 30 years they sit on death row, and every time you got to go to the hearings and all this stuff like that, and it's a nightmare. And you know what it's like? I think it's similar. When I was talking to Mike about it, it's like similar to like when you have a missing child. And then if the death penalty was like in a day, that would be like, oh, you found your child. But when you have your child and it's missing for 30 years, every day you wake up with the same crappy feeling. And then even after the 30 years is up, you've kind of already, a lot of your life's gone by where you haven't been able to deal with it. And he even brought up his, it was similar to me with the pet. I don't have, just the anguish that you feel. It's just, I don't know. But here's what I don't like is all of the family members want there to be a trial and to get justice. And the prosecution, with their own sort of obviously self-interest involved, decided to cut a deal. What the hell is that? I mean, they wanted it. They have it. They should have been able to have it. And I just don't understand. Usually that's how it works. Yeah. I mean, I care what they're saying because I want to. A lot of them owe this channel an apology. Those idiots that would come in and, oh, Gray, you'll see, man. You're a loser. Watch this. And you guys are just disgusting people, all right? So just realize that. Just know that in your heart. All right. Let's keep listening here.
It was so close with Maddie Mogan, best friends. And I know that you got to know the Mogan family as well. Have you spoken with the Mogan family, and do you know what their reaction is to this plea decision?
We actually just had a meeting with the prosecution and just tore into it and
wow,
made it clear that we were not in support of this, but we also invited other families into that. And
well, can't they rescind it, the prosecution? I mean, it's not set in stone, but
in no way alone on this. Multiple families believe the same as we do, but I want to honor their abilities to speak independently and as their child. So I don't want to cross that line, but all I will say is there was no majority for this decision. decision at all. And
so there might have been somebody that was for it, just not a majority. He would have said it was unanimous.
If they're not working for us, they're working against us, guys. I mean, we have to wake up to this. I mean, we have to.
I texted him. I said, "Hey, man, sorry. Hold on. I mean, it's not like earth-shattering. It's not private." I just said, "Sorry, man." He goes, "Yeah, this whole case is a joke. Once Hitler wanted to investigate the leaks, they couldn't be done with the case fast enough." God, I sure as hell hope that's not it. You know, that would be really. You know, I guess one thing what we were talking about earlier is you never actually know. I don't think there's any chance in hell this case would have been a not guilty, but it could have been a hung jury or something. Because there's a lot of stupid people in society, so it definitely could have been a hung jury. What are you saying, Gray? What are you saying? Because I thought he was innocent, I'm stupid? Yes, I am. I am saying. That means your brain can't synthesize factual information.
Hold people accountable. Coeur d'Alene just had a shooting where we attacked our fire. People need to stand up to these monsters and stop.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Bowing down to them and giving them child care. I mean, prison is nothing but adult child care. You get free vision, you get free dental, you get free meals, you get AC.
I actually don't think Kohberger will do too well in prison. I just, even though they're not children that he killed, they're young adults that were, there's people in that prison that are not going to accept that as something, a legitimate anything. Yeah.
Room and board, cable TV, internet access, it's ridiculous what we give our prisoners. Better than what we treat our
I can't believe he's holding it together so well.
From war with missing limbs. This is unacceptable.
I mean, today he had no idea that was happening because we were just texting about the timing route thing that I did. Let's see. And then Lisa Valenzuela sent me Valenzuela sent me TMZ like a TMZ article on the Kernodle. It says the family of Xana Kernodle is livid over the plea deal offered to accuse murderer Brian Kohberger, and they told prosecutors they had better not dare go through with it. Kim Kernodle, Xana's aunt, who was so furious she was in tears, tells TMZ prosecutors floated the idea of a plea deal a few days ago, and the family made it clear, no way. See, doesn't this make you more angry now? Because they went way above and beyond. Yeah, I'm totally with. I mean, I'm just telling you the other idea. The other idea that Mike brought up on the show today was how it avoids, and I think that's something the prosecutors even were saying. But I don't care. What it comes down to is what does the family want? Those are the surviving victims. When we spoke, I don't think they even should have a right to refuse it, the prosecutors. When we spoke with Kim, she was on a conference call with prosecutors. She says prosecutors told her the defense approached prosecutors with a plea deal, and the prosecution went along. Wait, I don't even know if am I still on the screen or okay. Contrary to what some people think, retribution is one legitimate component of justice. I agree. Yeah, I think he should have been lined up and taken care of. Let's see. When we spoke with Kim, she was on a conference call with prosecutors. She says prosecutors. Does that go on the screen? Okay. with a plea deal, and the prosecution went along to spare the families the pain of a trial. Kim says that's ridiculous because at least two of the families, hers and Gonzalez's family, wanted Kohberger to face a jury. Yeah, so I kind of think that, like, doesn't Madison Mogen's, I bet you Madison Mogen's mom was like a dissenter. That's just my opinion. I mean, wanting it not to be, she was okay with the deal, is what I'm saying. Kim says prosecutors were especially concerned that the families would have to see the gruesome crime scene photos of their loved ones. But she says, we know the graphics. They were not trying to spare us. Right. Kim also says when her family got a call from prosecutors a few days ago about a deal, they were vague. Prosecutors never mentioned taking the death penalty off the table. Well, who's going to plea? I plead guilty, and have the death penalty still on the table. What's especially puzzling, Kim says, prosecutors told her there was enough evidence to secure a guilty verdict. Well, there's way more than that. I mean, it's obvious. He's the killer, As we reported under the deal, Kohberger will plead guilty to 4 counts of murder, and in return, prosecutors will take the death penalty off the table. And that's usually, a lot of times, death penalty is used to try to get a deal. A hearing is scheduled for Wednesday, and presumably, well, if it was Ethan's, then there would have been, it can only be one family because there's 4. And he said the majority of us. So that means 3 of the families would have been not okay with it. A hearing is scheduled for Wednesday, and presumably that's when prosecutors and Kohberger will ask the judge to approve the plea deal. But so that means he can not approve, right? Kim says she wants the judge to delay making a decision so the families can figure out their next move. Yeah, I mean, the judge, here's what sucks, though. Like I told you earlier, do you think after this right now, after this notification in the news, that he could get I think it's much harder to get a fair trial now. Don't you think? Because now it's an implied admission that he did it because he's about to take the plea deal. Then you take it off the table, and then who wouldn't have heard about that? I mean, so it's like you kind of let the animals out of the barn, or whatever the hell the term is. And it's like, okay, well, shit. I mean, what's he going to do now? I mean, you thought that special on Dateline was a problem. This is nuclear compared to that. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's gonna sign it. I mean, you never know though. Hitler's a different cat, isn't he? He's like he's got his own thoughts. But I mean, so Hitler might be like thinking, well, because he thinks about the families and stuff. Okay, hold on. This is another one. I think Cindy. Well, no, that's the other one. What was the other one? It was just with Brian Enton on it. Was it this one? Deal anything justice. Maybe it's this one. The Facebook. Yeah, okay. There we go.
In Kohberger, in the Idaho quadruple murder case, 2.5 years in and just 30 days, basically, till jury selection. My colleague Brian Enton, who broke this story, is back with me live, as is Mark Garagos, who is one of the best attorneys. attorneys in the business and has
Really?
been through his share of
don't know about
high-profile
that.
cases. Brian, I want to start with you real quickly because you got some reporting for me about what the prosecutors outlined to the family.
So I guess there was an outline.
As their rationale for why this deal should go forward.
Yeah, I want to go through this list with you, Ashley, and kind of explain these different bullet points.
Does anybody out there have time to, like, while they're saying it, write it down and then send me an email of each of the bullet points? I don't know if anybody does, but if you can hear it, I just don't have any way to do it with all this stuff going on right now. Anybody out there, can you do it? Yes, you guys, today was our donation night. We made it to a decent level on the first 2 shows. So tomorrow, when I get back into town, we'll try to be able to donate. I think I'm going to be able to do maybe $3,000 this month. Maybe give $1,000 to our scholarship fund. Maybe $500 to, like, Texas EquiSearch or something. Maybe, which one haven't we done in a while? And then $1,500 back to our DNA fund. What does that sound like? Does that sound good? Okay. So when they have the list, can somebody write it down and send one of the mods or something, and then send me an email with it, or anybody really?
Points that they gave to the families about why they were supporting this plea deal. So they started with every trial, there's always risks. As we conveyed, we feel very confident about the strength of the state's case. However, this does not eliminate all risks associated with trial. They talked about a mistrial, hung jury, and the fact that this could result in the families having to go through the process again. They also said a month-long jury trial will impose an emotional, mental, financial, and physical toll on the families, friends, roommates of the victims without any certainty of an outcome. There would be some measure of finality if the defendant admits he was guilty of the murders. There is only one realistic way to get this type of closure, and that is through his entry of a guilty plea. So basically they were saying if the trial moved forward and he was pleading not guilty, they would have never gotten the satisfaction of a guilty plea. And this was interesting. They said that, sadly, as many have experienced, there are individuals out there who believe in conspiracy theories about this case, believe the defendant to be innocent or support the defendant in some way. We know the sentiments of support of defendants have been unbearable. We can only hope that at least some of these people will turn their attention to other matters if the defendant takes responsibility and admits to his heinous crimes by pleading guilty.
They forced him to say it.
The last reason they gave, the state
you got to the jury, didn't you?
Is warranted in this case. We've never wavered in that. However, they talked about how
I'll rewind it. Hold on. I'll rewind
matters. If there are individuals out there who believe in conspiracy theories about this case, believe the defendant to be innocent or support the defendant in some way. We know the sentiments of support of defendants have been unbearable. We can only hope that at least some of these people will turn their attention to other matters if the defendant takes responsibility and admits to his heinous crimes by pleading guilty. And the last reason they gave, the state believes the death penalty is warranted in this case. We've never wavered in that. However, they talked about how people can remain on death row for 30 or 40 years, which has happened in Idaho. There would be appeals, and that this would just drag on and on for the families. Ashley?
Mark Garagos, Brian Ensign just listed out some...
Oh, boy. What do you guys think of that? Hey, thanks, M10. Look at that. You get the 10 memberships out there to some lucky new freaks. And yes, you too, trolls. For the 2 trolls or whatever who got them too, you too are now a freak. Isn't that just crap to you? Poor guy. All right, here we go.
Very strong reasons for why a plea deal is a great idea. If you're Steve Gonzalez, the state had this guy. They had him dead to rights. They had overwhelming bad facts. I don't know that Ann Taylor could have climbed that Everest with every tool in the toolbox.
Right.
Why a plea deal for a case that looked this rock solid?
It shows you how jaded I suppose I am. I didn't understand why they took the plea deal, the defense.
That's because you're an idiot, dude. Look at Garagos. You're an idiot, literally. Okay.
This is somebody, that was my first reaction.
And you are JD, and you're actually technically a stupid person. All right, thank you.
I know that may not be a popular reaction, but what's the advantage of him taking a plea deal to life without and no chance of appeal?
Because he would have got the death penalty no matter what in this case. They knew that. That's why they spent the last 6 months only talking about their mitigation witnesses.
When it's a circumstantial case, number one. Number two, the reasons the prosecutor gave here are compelling. I don't know. I've never had a trial where both the victims and the accused families hasn't said, how do you do this for a living? How do you go through a trial like this? Trials are not easy. Trials are some of the most stressful, unbelievably nerve-wracking things you could ever go through. And the idea of having a defendant get up, plead guilty, accept responsibility, say, I'm not going to appeal, waive my right to appeal, and all he gets is he's not going to sit on death row for 30 years or until such time as the death penalty may be eliminated.
Well, right, but 30 years on death row is a nightmare. Like, you don't really talk to anybody, or isolation.
As it is in many states, I get the raw.
Well, hey, all these girls will get to have a chance to go visit him now. You know, all these girls out there that just thought he was a lovely guy, and they can go ahead and set up their meetings with him, maybe get some conjugal visits and bust out a few extra Kohbergers. Or should we call them co-babies? Da-da-da.
Emotion. I get that, and I understand nobody's going to second guess anybody who's had the unthinkable happen to them. So I understand that.
Yeah.
At the same time, please, why go through this just to have a jury say the same thing and then have to listen? If you're the guy, let me tell you what would end up happening. You get
we don't know if they could or not, Chris.
In that phase, you then get to a penalty phase, and you have to listen to mitigation evidence. If you're the victim, at that point, that's a legal conclusion. The victim, because somebody's been found guilty, you don't want to hear a litany of mitigation evidence about somebody who has been found guilty of killing your loved one.
I hope to God that they. Not only the family, but everybody deserves the right to know the full details of this case. He cannot have an appeal, so there's no reason that society can't know the details of the case. And I think he needs to fill in a lot of the stuff. Okay? He needs to fill it in. Hey, Lillian, what's going on? Yeah, Scott Peterson's attorney. He's a clown. You'll have people lining up to interview him. He's not the right. And do you think he's going to tell the truth out there? Maybe he wants to tell the truth. I mean, we're going to get to know the intimate details. It's going to be hard for somebody like me to be the person who gets it, because it's going to be like somebody who has a connection to a person who knows everything and doesn't have the gag order. Okay, that's what it's going to be. But maybe, I guess if Steve gets told everything, and maybe he'd come on or something, but he probably wouldn't come on my show first. Yeah, we don't talk about the Watts case in here. They should make that part of the deal. I think he needs to say. I think the deal should, and I think must include that what he did and where the K-bar knife is, because that right there, once you find the K-bar knife where he put it, that's the clincher for all time. So since he doesn't have an appeal, that should just be part of the deal. Well, you're already knowing you're not going to get out, So tell us where you put the K-bar knife. Now, he might say, I chucked it in the river. And then it's like, okay, well, that's hard to find. You know, how can we prove that? But if he didn't do that and he buried it somewhere, I mean, that's the thing. They got to get that piece of information. We'll only do it if you tell us exactly what you did, when you did it, when you started. And we know a lot of this stuff. And the moment we get a lie from you, we're rescinding the offer. Let's go. And you have to tell them everything. And we have to verify everything. Here's where the knife is. Here's where this is. Here's where that is. Why does a guilty person need to give up evidence? That's what a stupid comment. Can somebody like time? I mean, Imonies just makes. They're almost like they're wasted when they come onto my show. Everything I say, they have something counter to it. Right, but he needs to tell us what he did and where the knife is, because later on, it keeps him from, let's say somebody comes in and says, oh, it's unconstitutional to have it where there's no appeals. Well, now when he appeals, he found the knife. God, you make crazy comments. Let's see. Too bad he took a plea deal. It would have been an interesting trial. It would have been an interesting one. That's what I said exactly. Until you tell everything. Right. I don't know. Well, that's what I said. We've all said that 100 times. Let's see. Justice, plea deal, then release him into general population. Well, he will be. He will be, yeah. He'll just be in a prison with everybody else. And so, maybe there'll be some sort of, prison-type justice in there. You never know. Something came out for Ann Taylor to do this. No, nothing came out. Ann Taylor, this is what happened right here. Ann Taylor has wanted to have a plea deal forever in this case because she's seen the writing on the wall. She couldn't convince Brian. Then just recently they're in court, and when the judge didn't allow the continuance and it to extend on and on and on, you saw their faces over there. And a week later, they're asking for a deal. Because now even Kohberger, you remember when Kohberger made a face too? I pointed it out on the show. I said, look at the face that Ann Taylor's making. Look at the face that Kohberger made. They're like, oh, shit. And so that's the moment where Kohberger realized he is toast and is like, okay, they got me. All right, we're not going to have extended time. Let's cut a deal now. We're not going to find anything. None of their 4 third-party suspects were allowed. All of that stuff killed him. All right. And I think that's why Ann Taylor even took another murder case. She's done with this one. She's been done with it for a long time, just waiting for the moment that she thinks Kohberger might say, okay, let's do it. Let's make the deal. And sadly, the DA, or Thompson, whatever the hell his name is, he's like, okay, cool. What the hell is he doing? It's ridiculous. I mean, here's the thing. Even if you know that it's better for the long-term mental health of the family, it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is those family members wanted to go to court. They wanted to exact the justice. He didn't allow Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Kernodle to have their life and have another chance, and neither should he. He should be lined up and taken care of when the time comes. He's a freaking monster. That's why this case was interesting to me. So some people didn't think it was interesting. So I think this case was really interesting, and it's still, the thing is, I'm still going to try to put all the pieces together when they're out, so there's a whole story to tell. And if you want to do it where everybody that's watched this channel already has a lot of the puzzle put together. Okay, if you've been watching other people, you don't have a clue what's going on in this case. Okay, this case has been over since the probable cause document. That document, even though it's probable cause, when you go through it, he's the killer. right? So, and then every single thing, as I said on Court TV, since then has made it worse and 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 worse. And so I have like these videos and things that I'll probably make a few more videos. I don't know. I'm just like, hey, thanks, Wendy Woobles, for the happy donation night. He will have to go through a diagnosis until first, and then he could end up in a medical. Yeah, who cares? He's not ending up in any crap like that. Yeah, where are all the Proberger nut jobs? I think you guys owe me an apology, don't you think? Remember all the times you come in here or comment under my videos and say, "Oh, Gray, you're a loser, man. You watch. You just wait and see, Buster. You just wait and see." Man, you just had your ass handed to you, didn't you? I don't think so, Gray. Somebody made him do it. Jeez. So when he gets up and says it, what are you going to say then? They give him lines to read, Gray. Okay, well, you can believe whatever the hell you want. Okay. I'm going to say right now, my videos on this case are the best videos on YouTube about the case. Okay? Now, you might not want to say it because you don't like me, but that is the truth. Absolutely nailed it all the way through, all the little timelines and the cars moving around, 360 videos, and let's see. Well, they owe everybody an apology, but especially people like me, because we make these videos, and then when you post them in a place like Facebook or YouTube, you get like 100 comments that just absolutely obliterate you, like you're some kind of loser. And it's just like, to me, the case is so obvious that if you couldn't see it, that's why I say if you can't see it, then you're an idiot. And then people go, Gray, that's mean. I don't like it when you talk like that. Well, what's mean about it? It's just true. You know what I mean? It's I don't know what else to say. It's just, it is true. It's a truth. It's a reality. I mean, look at that. I made an animation, for God's sakes, of the crime. I mean, who made a better one than that? I mean, literally an animation. Who has anybody in here not seen the animation that I made? Anybody? If he pleads, I'm hoping. Well, of course he's going to do it. I know he should. Babs Bunny. I wonder if he changes his mind though. He can change his mind by Wednesday, right? Or maybe even by the sentencing. Well, thanks, Lori. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Do you want to hear some crazy shit? So I'm having dinner tonight, and I'm eating these chicken wings. I don't know if I told. Did I say this to you? I texted somebody, or Cindy, so I don't know if I said it or whatever, but I had chicken wings. And the chicken wings, they were supposed to be these really good, like, Colby chicken wings, you know? I was like, wow. With sesame seed and everything. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait, man. There's no sound? What do you mean there's no sound? What do you mean there's no sound? What are you talking about? I can see it right over here. Can you guys hear me or not? You guys are hearing me, right? Paulette's like, no sound, no sound. Hey, Paulette, turn up the audio. Okay. All right. Got it? All right. Cool. All right. So I was in the hotel restaurant. So I go in there and I order these like Colby chicken wings, you know, like an appetizer. And so I started eating. First, I got some pretty good, this calamari thing that was pretty good. Had all this other stuff. I don't know how to eat it because it was like these little things. But so I ate that, and then the wings came, and I took my first bite, and I was like, man, that's dry as hell. That's the driest thing I've ever eaten in my life. And then the waitress came by a little bit later. Hey, you like it? And I go, man, those wings, they're pretty dry. She goes, I like mine dry. Let me have a bite. Yeah, so she took one of the wings and took a bite and went, it was so dry. It was like a flower in her mouth or something that went shooting into her lungs and stuff. And she was coughing all over the place, drinking water. And then she yelled out, nobody order those wings. Then she got, then she started telling, I don't know, it was crazy. I guess she had to be there. Let's see. But at least it was proof that what I said wasn't a lie. Like, they were the driest damn things I've ever. Like, you don't want to bite into a chicken wing and have it crunch the meat part. You know, like whenever the meat's crunch, like I don't mind if the skin's crunchy and then you get to the nice juicy and the meat inside. But this sucker, like, what the hell happened right there? Why did it zoom in like that? What did I do that made it do that? It like broke in my mouth. It just. Let me see. Configure video. Why did it do that? I'm not sure why my face zoomed in. I did something on the side of the computer. Maybe it's because I went like that. Oh, it's following my head around now. You guys see that? Look at that. Wait. I don't know. I can't tell what this thing's doing. It was weird. I was doing something over here and it sort of zoomed in on me. Camera control. Oh, maybe that. If I zoom out, does it? That work? Oh, there we go. Huh. Somehow it just sort of zoomed in for no apparent reason. Pretty strange, huh? Guess I didn't have boogers in my nose or something like that. Hacked your computer. Why, did he do that too? Brian Enton's come a long ways from his... I can report that I'm not sure if Brian Laundrie was in the flower bed reaching up to grab something. And he said it with a serious face. Yeah, he's gone quite a ways from those days. But that was the case that he became known from, his big break. Hey, well, thanks, RDWWDR. The camera followed you this first live today. Oh, did it really? Oh, look at that. It does do that. That's so cool, I guess. Unless you like went over here to like blow your nose or something. And that's pretty cool though. You gotta admit. Like that's. And no, I haven't made my bed yet. Good Lord. It's not my house, it's a hotel room. Do any of you make your bed in your hotel room? Well, they just send him around all over the place. He doesn't. Yeah, he seems like a nice person. Yeah, it's a new camera that I got specifically for this trip here, but I don't know. I might actually use it on my computer because I think it's a hell of a lot clearer and better. But look how weird that is. It actually can follow you around. Wow, it even goes up and down. That's crazy. Thank you, Jacqueline. Oh, yeah, and by the way, and that same waitress, I started saying, isn't that cool that, it's amazing he's going to plead guilty. And I go, yeah, I knew he did it. And she goes, you really think he did it? I don't know, you know. And I go, yeah, well, I mean, his car was there. And he goes, well, I mean, that doesn't, I mean, how do you know that it was right during that time? I was just, are you kidding me? Right here in the town, there's a believer. And then eventually at the end, I got her to say, well, I think he's involved, definitely. But I don't think he acted alone. I was good. I'll take it. I'll take it. As long as you realize that he was part of it. Thank you. I don't have any liquor to take shots from. Thanks, RMB. Well, if you guys want to, I do have more of those videos, I guess. You can try that. Let's see, I'll have to open it up. So the street, it's going to look weird like that for a second. Oh, that's way out there. Yeah, cool. Let's see. Oh, this is when we were about to get to Wawa Park. Is it working? Oh, this thing is slow. Can you guys see it on the screen? Just want to make sure. Pretty cool out there, isn't it? This one's 8 minutes long. It's weird how it started in the middle of the road like that. It must have been part of another video. I gotta say, last night when I went to sleep, at like, I don't know, 12 something, I woke up at 6:30 and I was like, man, that's the first time I've done that in a million years. Just like went to sleep and then woke up kind of later without really ever waking up. I hope Diddy gets convicted. No, I don't really give a shit about. I mean, I want him to be convicted, but that case isn't. I don't know. I followed it for a little bit, and then I just that whole lifestyle, that whole crap that those guys do is just really boring to me. There's nothing intriguing about it. Like, it's just there's nothing to figure out. Yes, he's a scumbag, and he did all those things. But I understand why other people might want to watch it. I got something in replacing the wings. I think. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? It's a pretty cool drive, though, isn't it? Look at that. I mean, we kind of looked at it a couple days, and it's, you know, sort of interesting, some of these stories that people have. But, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to figure out what makes a case interesting. I like ones that you have to put together a piece of puzzle, and I have unique sort of ability to try to figure something out. That's what I like. Hey, look at that. It's Romeo's Heart. I haven't seen you in a million years. How's it going? It's cool to see Caligal 3 was here today. That was crazy. Now Romeo's Heart is here. I thought you guys left the channel forever. You know what's weird is this is on my computer and it played just as smooth when it was on that external hard drive. On my computer at home, it'll be totally smooth. Let me see. So it's basically the same kind of thing driving down. Let me see if I make it to Huawei. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, it should be right down, not too far after this. Yeah, kind of awesome. At any point, you can just stop and look around. It's just unreal. I think all cop cars should have one of these on top of it. Then you can go back and sort of view what happened. Like instead of wearing their body camera, have something like this on top of their head or their shoulder or something. That way you can see behind them. Yeah. Anybody out there? Anybody at all? I think my computer got so overheated that it like turned off. So now I turned it on this turbo fan mode. I think it was playing that damn 360-degree video. I'm just opening up the previous live stream. I had to reboot my computer. And it went right back to it. Nice. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I think I'm not going to be able to stream the... I mean, my computer at home can easily handle that, but this is... Hold on a second. Putting in the chat. Maybe we can just talk for a while. But that was where Huawei Park was, way down where we were just showing. Oh, there, it's not picking me up this time. Maybe it takes a while or something, I don't know. I think it was because those files were so big it was heating up the computer. And it went, it just turned off, like to save itself or something. Ah, Jesus. I know what I'm doing. It wasn't full screen. Okay. The idea. Yeah, well, no, it wasn't full screen. It was like quarter screen, but that has nothing to do with it. The file itself is like 20 gigabytes. It's huge. And I think this computer, just does a lot of work for it. That you sound the most like Norm. Oh, jeez. I don't sound like Norm Macdonald, okay? I've listened to Norm Macdonald. I listen to myself. I don't sound anything like him. I get sick of that just comparison over and over and over again. When you get home, we can see it will be great. Yeah. I'll just have to play it tomorrow night or something if you guys want. We can go through all the different videos. I want to see what you captured, even with the plea deal. Yeah, well, I mean, I think at some point we still got to put the pieces together. Like, okay, this is where I went here. I want to see how much I got right. Because on that video that we played earlier, that's exactly 8 minutes. I'll show you where that is. Oops. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Yeah, see, look, I drew it a long time ago. You see this? You can't see it very good because it's not loading up, but you can see the screen right here. This is Nevada Street, and the car went like this, and then down, and then like this, and then out here. And that's what I figured it did. And then it turns out that from at 2:53, 54, I think, you can see the vehicle right there. And then it comes out here and then makes it over to Floyd's Cannabis Shop, which is, it's not there. I think it's back somewhere around in here somewhere. I don't know. I can't see it on that. Is it right here? I guess I could just type it in. Ah, forget it. This thing's not doing well either. I'm just gonna hit cancel on that. Hey, Gray, without your hat, you like Richard Dolan. I don't know what that is, man. I look well and healthy. He's just gray without the visor. He always looks like, well, what's going on? What's happening? What happened? Well, I've definitely eaten too many like crappy things. I've been walking a lot, but I got more work to do. It's just, I try to walk about like 4 or 5 miles every day. Haven't been able to do it here, but that should be all right. It is a visor he wears. Wow, that's so observant of you, man. Wow, hey. Thank you. Good job, Darren. Very good observation. I'm sure you're commenting to somebody else. So here is the magical Insta 360 X5. I was going to fly the... I like the visor. Ah, Jesus. Oh, God. Look, at 73% of you voted not to have the visor. Okay? Why are we even talking about it? Why can't I just do whatever I feel like doing? Yeah, that was pretty good, right? Hey, everybody. Gray wears a visor. Okay, I just figured it out. I'm becoming a detective next week. Yeah, where are those Probergers? Calling all Probergers! Calling all Probergers! take your head out of your asses and tell us what you think now. No, I don't live close. It's a 6-hour drive. I didn't ask anything. Can't help it. Okay, well, I'm never wearing it again, just for you, Lillian. Yeah, where are the Probergers? Maybe I'll make a video called "Where Are the Probergers?" Yeah, we should go back through and like highlight some of the comments these people made. I can't believe he would say that. He's innocent. How can he do it? He's innocent, you guys. He just admitted doing it, you fool. But I just can't believe it because I've believed he was innocent so long that I can't say it now. My friends won't like me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, do you think we'll get to see some kind of a document? I mean, I'm sure I'll go back and forth. Maybe I'll wear a visor sometimes. Maybe I won't wear a visor. How's that sound, Lily? Yeah, I mean, I actually have hair on my head. It's not as thick as it used to be, and it's gray. And Lillian's going, oh, you got a hat on the head there. I talked to Lillian yesterday and today for a little bit. Today was just more like, Greg! Oh, wait, how did she do that? Greg, you should see that. I mean, I can't even do the imitation, man. You know what, Lillian? You're just one of a kind. I can't do it. Nancy could probably do it. I bet she can imitate you, right? I wonder what the clown is thinking right now. He's trying to figure out the conspiracy theory. Oh, here it is. He's going to claim that it was really a family member of Kohberger who did the killing, and Kohberger is falling on the sword, so to speak, to protect that family member. He's always been protecting somebody else this whole time. There you go. I got it. Everybody. I got it. I nailed it. Let's see. All the Probergers are out there trying to get refunds from those fake Probergers. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. See, a lot of people complain on my channel because I try to bring in income and so forth. So I'll say, hey, everybody, you can help the channel. And then I get frustrated nights where nobody's helping. And, but the thing is the reason I do that is because not only does it help allow me to keep going and doing the shows, but we've given $250,000. As a matter of fact, it will be $251,000 after tomorrow in a 5-year period, or 5.5. So that's pretty damn good, and I'm proud of that. I think most of the freaks are proud of that. There's people that don't like my personality, etc., because I just don't have time to entertain wild conspiracies. Okay? If you want somebody to figure out what's going on in a case factually and have a very good likelihood of being correct, this is where you want to be. If you want to go to a place where it's just fun and entertaining and neato, and we can talk about all kinds of crazy shit, and it's never going to be true at all, but boy, we can just throw everybody under the bus, family members, etc., then go watch the rest of them. Well, not all of them, but you know which ones I'm talking about. No, I think most people make over that in a year roll. Yeah. That's not the average is higher than that. But yeah, it's more like about 45. We did One year we did like 20 something the first one, then it went up to 40 something, and then 65, and then 50 something, and then 40. And this year is less than that one because it's just, I mean, there's too many true crime channels that the people that were supporting my channel, they migrate other places and like to support drama and that kind of shit. You know, I mean, you know, good luck. Good luck to you. Yeah. Brian Kohberger pled guilty. And by the way, the defense approached the prosecution, not the other way around. And they started talking about a plea deal. And I guess from the prosecution point of view, they're like, man, this is a win handed on a silver platter. The hell with what the families want. Yeah, I think the average is much higher than that. How many YouTubers can even say they contributed anything? None, almost none, really. I mean, they have these nights where they go, hey, everybody, we're doing this, and, you know, it has no skin in the game. The 251,000 has come out of the income from the channel. And I'm not like every other YouTuber. I'm more sort of like in between Lookner and like somebody else on true crime. I do 7 days a week, 3-hour shows. Okay, so it's just the way it is. Well, I hope we get to see the other evidence, don't you? I think they're going to have to release something, a narrative. Like, you know, like the probable cause. I think the law enforcement needs to put out an entire narrative, allow documents to be found. I mean, maybe that's what it's going to come down to. Is we'll have to apply to get documents, a FOIA, and get them sent, and then put it all together. Right, and they never take responsibility for the errors. You know what I hate the most? Are the YouTubers out there that even after, like the UK dipshit, you know, he has no reality whatsoever part of that guy's name. That guy, when this is over, he'll move on to something else, and his people will still think he's great. And he's garbage. He lied to him for 2 years straight, every single day, completely fabricated stories because he knew where the side of the bread was buttered on. It's just unbelievable. How can you trust somebody like that? I'll take a beating in here to tell you the truth. And, you know, I have a couple, 2 or 3 cases like that where I did not agree with my own freaks in here, our freak family. And they're like, God, Gray, I don't know. You know, they just get all upset and everything. And then eventually, when the truth comes out, there it is. And they're shocked. I'm not going to say who the UK guy is. And nobody else say who the UK guy is. That guy is absolutely just a mockery of true crime. Just a joke. Not only that, he's a bad person, too. Like, he's one of the trolls out there that, you know, do all the hateful shit. No, I don't think you know who I'm talking about. He only covers Kohberger and throws something else in occasionally. Yeah, spitballer, yeah. I'm just spitballing here, but, you know, what about, and how about he never spitballed that Kohberger was guilty, you know? He might be able to pull a video out from 2 years ago. But that's it, man. There's going to be a lot of deleting now. I don't care if somebody deletes videos, but if you're deleting a whole series because you were wrong, Unless, like the thing is, if you put something out that was like, yeah, like I put out something early on thinking that maybe Kaylee's boyfriend didn't use his name, but I was wondering if like he had, because they didn't clear him. And then as soon as they cleared him, I go, oh, boom, and I removed that one because I didn't really think it was good to have it out there, But I didn't say his name in it. That's different. It's different here. The Kohberger case has been factually obvious for a very, very long time, and it's just always shocking. Hey, thanks, Winslow, GSP. It's shocking all the people that just continued with the same narrative over and over, despite evidence coming out. Oh, now it's lime green, for God's sake. So you guys still think it's a lime green Elantra? Did Kohberger start driving a lime green one? I mean, if he says yes, then okay. Hey, thanks, Maria's Kitty Cakes. Just sounding waddle. Oh, sending a little support by my way. By. Maybe. Just sending a little support. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Man, I'm glad I don't know who this creep. Yeah, you don't need to know. That's not just him. I mean, there's that Jay Embry guy. I mean, what a joke. He goes around and he makes calling everybody else garbage. That literally put out the truth the whole time. See, I don't mind like people calling somebody garbage that's putting out false information. But when there's somebody that's literally doing the work, trying to factually put everything together in a professional, here it is, organized way, and you get trashed for it, that's when it just sucks. You should expect to be trashed when when those guys go to bed at night and they looked in the mirror, they went, man, I suckered those people again. M10? Oh, yeah. What do you mean? You did another one? Who are you? Can somebody remove Sojourner up there? I always thank everybody at the end. Just remove that person. So anybody that's thinking about that kind of stuff. She said, M10 said, in my time zone, it's July. This is a July super. Get the month started ASAP. All right. Well, in my time zone, it's June. But thank you. But yeah, that Sojourner person wasn't here they were just waiting and waiting. Is Greg going to catch everybody? Is he going to catch Ooh, did he catch that? Ooh, let me point it out. Gray missed somebody. I'm so old, I thought the English guy was the CW English. No, there's this guy from the UK. I was just kidding? About what? Oh. So when do we see crazy theories? Let me press the live chat button. Yeah, it's over on the East Coast. It's July already. Maybe it was the line cook and some dirt on Kohberger eating meat. That's got to be it. Well, that's what it seems like, Sojourner. Because why would you even be monitoring anything like that? The people that do that are the trolls. I really, I thank everybody all the time at the end of the show, during the show. Sometimes I miss something, sometimes I don't. But if somebody's in the chat going, hey, Gray, you missed saying thanks to that one person up there. You know what I mean? That's weird. It's a weird thing to be watching when you're watching a channel, okay? So try not to give up your intentions that easy, all right? Thanks. Hey, it's Tuesday Arvo, the afternoon. For Michelle H., it's the afternoon on Tuesday. Okay, well, if it's not, it's cool if you didn't mean it that way. It's just really a strange thing to be observing. I bet you there wasn't another soul in here observing that. They were listening to the show and kind of just talking. And well, even the psychic lady said BK was the killer. I really, psychic lady, you don't have to be a psychic to know that he's the killer, okay? A good psychic is somebody like me, all right? How good of a psychic would I be, you guys? If I go over these cases, figure it all out, and later I sit down with a Swami hat on and a crystal ball in front of me and go, I'm gleaning it. I think his car drove down like this and he went over here. I don't know yet. Yeah, it's garbage, you guys. These people are not getting anything from anything. If you believe it, then you have a problem too. These people are crazy. Except for places to get chicken wings. With the truth, no one needs psychics. Right. But what if I pretend, like right now, if I like this case, if I had pretended to be a psychic, but used the same techniques of going through stuff and figuring out, I just don't mention those things. Man, it would sound great. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Okay. So. Forget it. I'm not even going to go through it. It's just... Can you also put spiders under your eyes, Gray? That guy absolutely trashed me. The stupid clown. What an idiot that guy is. But he's probably thinks he's smart because he suckered all the people that watch him into watching, and he makes a shitload of money on his ad revenue. So good for him, But he would just sit there, he would trash me over and over again. Oh, that Gray guy, and sort of imitate me and shit like that. Really terrible job at it. But he used a lot of he started stealing like my terms, like boom and stuff like that. Yeah, he'd take that and different words and shit. And he lied to his viewers the whole time. A tunnel under the house. Oh, Kohberger was there. He was just a peeping Tom, though. And somebody else killed while he was outside. He saw it and then he drove away at a high rate of speed. Well, that's weird. How does DNA get on the knife sheet, though? Well, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about, I think you had the peeping Tom. I thought all along. Yeah, well, I thought there was a possibility, but I thought the later it got here, not as likely. Because I was thinking Kohberger was pretty, like, he wants to go to trial and prove that he's smarter than everybody else. But I think he saw the writing on the wall. He blew it. And what he's always going to think about? If he left the knife sheath there as a calling card, he's going to sit around and he's going to think to himself how his own decision. I actually hope that it was a calling card because the other one, an accident, he can sort of get over it. But if he put it there, that means for the rest of his life, he's going to know that his own idiocy is what led to his demise. Because the DNA on the sheath is what proves that the white launcher driving around without a front license plate is his. And that's something that the Proberger nut jobs don't seem to get. There's a white launcher missing a front plate, and it's driving around, and another white launcher driving around, one that looked, well, when I say another, I mean another video of the launcher driving around. It doesn't have, you can't tell if it's missing a plate or whatever. But it's at the same time frame. It's driving around, right? And then you go, well, how do you know that's him driving it? How do you know that's his car? And people keep saying it still to this day. And you go, well, because his DNA was on the knife sheath that was left during the window between 4:08 and 4:20 and 47 seconds when it's driving away. We know that's the window because Xander Kernodle was still awake using TikTok at 4:12. And Dylan Mortensen said it was like around 4. She heard something. What? She doesn't know exactly what time it was. And so the DNA on the knife sheet should be, to anybody with a brain, that the DNA on the knife sheet makes it unreasonable to believe that the white Elantra driving around missing its front plate is not his. And then you go, okay, then he also bought the knife sheath on Amazon in March of 2022. He bought the balaclava the same year in January, and the murders happened in 2022. So he bought all those things. And then apparently, there's just so much more. His sister was probably going to testify against him. It's just crazy. But that part, what I just told you, is all you need to know. It's just, you don't even need the Amazon stuff. Once you know that there's a white Elantra driving around, and his DNA is on the knife sheath, and that verifies that the car driving around that stopped before and then left after the murders, that means he's the killer. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why the probable cause document, to me, already said he is the killer and there is no doubt. And then everything came after that was worse for him. So there you go. That's what I can tell you. Now, more than that, you missed that part, Lillian. He checked it out 23 times, and they say that he was within 100 meters 23 times prior. I was going to throw that in there, but to me, I just don't care. I don't care about that. I care that his DNA is on the knife sheet, and there was a white Elantra that parked outside when the murders happened. That means he was in the house with the knife sheath, and he shouldn't have been there, and he killed them. This cause will be canceled, not getting a fair channel, nothing up the docks, motions. I think that person's either absolutely obliterated or doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah, that was in the Dateline special, and it's been also reported in media outlets. He does... Well, thanks, Richard. Thank you, Richard. I do work hard, I miss out on stuff, too. Do we have any channel members during this live stream? We do. We have a ton, right? Didn't somebody buy like 10 of them? Didn't somebody buy like 10 channel memberships? I can't see it, though. Oops, let me see. Yeah, it was Romeo's Heart. Oh, and M10 bought 10 also, yeah. Yeah, so M10 and Romeo's Heart. We should have 20 in there. Cool. $20. Yeah, I never take a day off. I figure I could probably find time. Yeah, M10 and Romeo's Heart. That's not getting a continuance. No alternate suspect. Yeah, that just made him have to. I think that's when they realized, okay, this trial's happening. We don't have anything, or we don't have any defense whatsoever. We have no even chance of tricking a jury into an alternate suspect. We're toast, and it's time now, Brian. Hey, Brian, it's time now. Okay. That's what they said. That's why they looked at each other like, what? Oh, there's no. You're not going to do a continuance, and the trial's likely going to happen. I think there's been this talk about a plea for a long time. You can sort of see it, kind of like alluded to it in the wording sometimes when they would say stuff. Like there was some other thing somewhere. And I've heard this before. Like, I think Steve has mentioned that Ann Taylor wants to plead for a long time, but she can't convince Brian to do it. But they don't. But the family does not want to allow the plea. And then here it goes. They finally got to a point where even Brian himself had to admit it. Thanks, Laurie, or Laurie. Some people need to see it rain. Water everywhere. Yeah, well, the thing is some people just need to have a brain that's functional. You ever thought of that? That's how I look at it. Some people just need to have a brain that actually works. Like when I was talking to that waitress, just the look on her face when she was saying, "Are you sure about that? Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally sure, but I don't want you to spit in my food later, so I'll pretend that, I'm okay with it." Will Wednesday's proceedings be televised? I hope they're streamed on that same YouTube channel, I would think. Let's see. Funny how a lot of dummies trying to solve the Idaho 4 case and Brian's name scrambled brain. Huh? I don't get it. I don't get it, man. There's nothing to solve. It's already solved. But what I like to try to do in cases often is based on the probable cause, back engineer the case. So that like all of us get it. Like, oh yeah, look at that. Okay, yeah, I see. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Like it makes sense. What are they doing? Yeah, fill us in, Alan. Come on, Alan McMahon is our resident Proberger studier. There's the term. The Proberger studier are in meltdown mode, making all kinds of excuses. What do you mean by when you say excuses? What are they saying? Give me an example. Excuses why they believe something, or excuses why he is now pleading guilty, that he's not really guilty, but Are you going to bed, M10? Hey, good night, M10. Thank you so much for your support. Very kind, very kind. All the news of BK willing to admit to confessing is not real yet. Because, it's not real yet because it hasn't happened. Let's see what the meltdown is on Wednesday. And he might not do it, but if he doesn't do it, he's really jeopardized himself because now everybody knows that he was about to plead guilty. Now I'll try to rest well. I'll probably need to get off here in a little bit myself. Maybe I'll go to 11 and then just call it a day, man. This has been a long day, man. Long day. Got up at, let's see. Well, I got up at like 8 something, but then at 10, Amber came over, and then we just drove around all over the place, filming, and then eventually, like at 3 o'clock, after 5 hours of driving around everywhere, we went all down to Clarkston, we went to Wawaway Park, we went to Costco, Albertsons, Kate's Cup of Joe, like all the shit, man. Every single bit of it. And then we went to, let's see. I don't know, just everywhere it seemed like. Then we stopped finally at the very end, drove to the same spot yesterday that I flew the drone, pulled over, got the drone flying, and then Amber flew it around. She was like, "Ew." She was like, wow, this is so cool. And she got to fly it around. And then right in the middle of it coming back, that's when Lillian contacted me. She tried calling once, but I was in the middle of flying. I actually had the goggles on. And then I handed it to her. Then I called back really quick. And then she goes, then she told me. Can you believe that? Jeez. And then I had to rush home. And then I didn't have, because Court TV requires the earbuds, which they didn't tonight, but I had to go to the store and find some freaking earbuds. These ones right here, you know. And then I found the earbuds, and then it turns out I didn't need those. And then I had to do a show really quick. Then after the show was over, I'm on Court TV for 20 minutes or so. And then after Court TV's over, we do another live stream. And after that live stream's over, I finally get to eat dinner. Then I come back on here, we're doing another live stream. I mean, that's a pretty busy day, I got to be honest. Summer is saying he might have forced to confess because of a cover. Ah, God. Oh, Jesus. Forced to confess. I got one they're probably going to use, is that he's actually biting the bullet for another family member whose DNA matched too. But he's taking it. He'll protect that person. Hey, thanks, Ron Hendricks. But thanks for calling, Lillian. We got the hell out of there. I was supposed to take Amber to dinner or something. I wanted to take her, get her food. But I couldn't. Because that's like, oh man, she goes, oh, I totally get it. So might have to send her or something. I mean, it was fun. I think she had a good time. She told me, I asked her, so do you have a better understanding now that we've been driving around going over? She goes, oh my God. This is like, she totally got the whole case and everything. It was just pretty cool. I mean, she already knew the case, but like when you're there physically on a case like this and see all the different things, especially timing the different things that we did, it's just boom. I haven't seen her in here tonight, though. Probably got too tired after all that driving around. He may be a confidential informant. So he's the confidential informant now, not the Brent Kopaka guy. They had it wrong the whole time, but now it's him. Dude, talking about they deciding to go to Moth. I know. Well, sort of, but I kind of wish I was, it's also unfortunate that I'm here because I can't control my computer screen or anything. I tell you what, I told Mike King on the phone, I said, listen, if you ever hear that I'm out of town, assume there'll be incredible news, breaking story in cases. Okay? Because this happened to me 4 times and I'm not even out of town very often. Like really rare, maybe 4 days a year. And like, I think the arrest in the Delphi case was made when I was driving. I was driving to Klamath Falls or something. I mean, just some random, arrests are made then. And then the next time I'm driving, the Odin document came out. And then there was another thing like that. I can't remember what it was, but there's just been so many. And then this one, I come here yesterday thinking, okay, cool. Maybe people will be interested in this stuff. Right when I get here, oh my God, a shooter is ambushing somebody just up the road. Then I'm thinking, shit, should I go there? 84 miles from here? Because nobody's really going to be interested in this right now. Then I still do it. And then I get up in the morning and the damn thing is a plea deal. I mean, are you kidding me? Every day that I'm here, there's something. Oh, thanks, Alan. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that I'm here right during that time. I mentioned that on Court TV that I've been here filming, and Vinny even said, "Hey, I look forward to seeing what you film." But I was going to go out there tonight for you guys and everything, but it's like, yeah, geez, what's the point now? You know, I'm still going to make video. I'm going to make a video on that 8-minute timing thing and a couple other things, but you know, and obviously if they give out information, I'll put it all together. The clown once said that the killer jumped out of a plane and parachuted to the balcony. Yeah, and he was serious too when he said it, right? Yeah, that's. How about the UK guy, Alan? What's he doing? You know, the guy that spitballs. He always couches that I'm spitballing, so he doesn't really believe it. But the thing is he never spitballs in the favor of the prosecution, ever. I was watching another channel, a good one, and he thinks Judge Hippler will force BK to say out loud how he killed each person, and if not, it will come out. If not, it will come out. What do you mean, if not, it will come out? Yeah. I hope so, yeah. He should. And I think it should be more than that, too. Like, I think it should be kind of like a full recounting of, like, what he did. You know, however he wants to tell it. And I would say if there's one lie in there that we can prove, the deal's off. And he also needs to say where he put the K-bar knife. Don't you agree with that? Spitballing is just like speculating. Yeah, I'm just sort of throwing out here speculating, you guys. Oh, he's very quiet now, stating he's always been a middle. Oh, God, really? You don't believe that, right? He's never been a middle of the road guy. That guy is. I'm probably way too loud for this hotel. Why? What were they doing there, Doyle? Never heard of that one. Not sure why you're mentioning that one. Who is that? What are you talking about? Meaning that information will be leaked and the knife location was discussed. Well, how does that person know that the knife location was discussed? How would they know? Families, because it's got to be hard to hear. Yeah, really, of course, I don't think that. And you're right, he's always been on the side of the defense. The other people in the hotel think you're talking to yourself. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Especially if they could see through this mirror in front of me. They're probably like, well, who's he talking to? Look at this guy. Like the BTK killer did it. Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, God. Will be leaked. Huh. Well, it's going to be in documents, right? I mean, isn't there going to be able to be a FOIA request? And he's going to make them all available. He's not going to allow photographs. But why wouldn't Judge Hippler allow every single document to be available for a FOIA request? Because he cannot have any appeals, and there's absolutely no reason to keep that information from the public. So I think that all of the documents should be available. Yeah. Full disclosure, what? What? Oh, full disclosure, what I said. Okay, yeah. That's like, I thought you said something before. I would love to see a trial, but the deal guarantees a guilty verdict. Yeah. Well, I feel bad for the family. Yeah. Because they didn't want it to be that way. And I think that's where it should lie on. I do wonder why the prosecution did it. What were they nervous about? I mean, I guess you could always be nervous that one of these nut job Proberger types get on there and you're stuck with endless attempts and attempts because one stupid holdout each time. And this one gets you basically the same ruling, but just that the mitigation phase might have led to a life imprisonment term. And it also means he can't appeal it, which is a benefit, because I think even if he had life in prison, he could still appeal. And if he got the death penalty, he gets a shitload of appeals. This one means he gets life in prison and no appeals and nothing. He is literally just in there forever. And I think that if you want to look at the a silver lining of it, I think the reality is the family should get the say on what happens. They didn't get that. But a silver lining is that maybe their lives can get back to somewhat of a normalcy in the next couple of years, instead of 30 more years of constantly being reminded and starting over again, etc. That kind of thing. Saying he is covering for extra perps. Yeah, I was saying earlier on the show, I think he's not going to do well in prison. When you kill 3 beautiful young girls like that, maybe some of the other sex addicts or sex fiends or whatever you want to call them in there would be into that, but not the normal guys. He's gonna have some problems in there. Yeah, but the death penalty would have been better because he would have been in isolation for the entire time. Hey, thanks so much, Patricia Grizo. 5 more memberships. Very cool. I don't think there's a really good chance of that at all. I mean, I wonder though, like, wouldn't the judge want to talk to the family too? I mean, or is that just not part of what they do? The only problem with the death penalty, though, what I was thinking though is the amount of time it takes. It's like 30 years, and that keeps the family on. It's almost like when they have a missing person in your family, you have to sit around for decades wondering where that person is until there's a finality. It's better to find them dead in a year than wait 30 years. So it's like, in this case, if you say he's not going to die, but he's never getting out, then, unless we had the death penalty, it took place in a day. Okay, death penalty, boom. And we should get to the point where we have it like that when there is no chance. See, that's the thing, is I think the death penalty should be rare, and it should only be for people who have certain evidentiary elements met. And then it's quick. It's not freaking 22 years later. Yeah, they saved a shitload. I mean, all the appeals, this trial itself, 3 months, but I don't really, that's the part that's like, okay, that's great, but that's what, tax money's for. You got to give justice to these kind of people, I guess. I don't know. I can see both sides, but I err on the family's side. If the family tells the prosecutor, we do not want to cut a deal, you go for it, then you do it, man. You just do it. It looks so weak and shitty to do that. It's just, I don't know, man. If that was your kid and you wanted to go to trial, I mean, how would you feel right now? All right, let's charge that battery. Then we do another one. And you might go, well, the family doesn't, they're not thinking clearly. Who cares? That's what they need. They've been waiting all these years to finally get justice. You're going to take it away from them. Who knows, Gray? Maybe by the time you get back to Portland, BK, well, I hope so. I hope he changes his mind. He might be thinking, this is what he might be thinking. I could see him thinking this. Let's see. They say they have me nailed, but they're giving me a plea bargain, and I can never appeal it, but what is there must be an issue with the case for them to do this. I'll take my chances. Let's forget it. Let's take it away. The problem is by the fact that he was reported to be, and seemingly a deal has been made to plead guilty, it makes it really bad for him going to trial, knowing that he was that close to pleading guilty because he knows he did it. Let's see. What if all the families did not agree? Well, I think one didn't. I have a feeling it's like Madison Mogen's mom. She probably didn't want to see her daughter, who was probably the target, and that would be particularly devastating on her the whole time, because that's sort of like the focus of Kohberger. Yeah. Like, imagine, like, that's already out there. He can't change his mind now. I think it's too late for anything to change the plea at this point, because this is way more damaging than that 48 hour, the Dateline episode, right? Way more, because now he's literally, the news is he's going to sign and admit to doing it. That means he did it. Okay? But then if he changes his mind, it's like, well, no, but you already kind of said you did it. It wasn't an Alford plea. You weren't saying, well, I admit that they have enough information. I'm saying that then I changed my mind. If this was a plea for an Alford plea, he could change his mind and people wouldn't think that much about it, because they'd say, well, he's already said he didn't do it. He just thinks the state has enough evidence, so he's going to take a plea. But he's not doing it. This isn't an Alford plea. This is the worst case scenario for a plea other than, I don't think anybody in the world would ever plead guilty to get the death penalty unless you want to die. I mean, it's the stupidest thing ever. But like, this is the most strict version. You're literally getting life without parole with giving up any right to any appeals whatsoever. That means the second he walks in that door, he is not leaving until he dies. However, there could be some activist type judges out there that start changing stuff and go, well, it's just unconstitutional that he doesn't have a right to appeal or have a chance for parole at some time. And that's where the finding the knife, exactly where that knife is so important, because once that happens, then his appeals have a way less chance of ever being successful if that happens to be something that he gets, because now he's the only person that knew where the knife was. And that should be one of the requirements, that everything is locked up. Well, as soon as he's done giving his information to everybody, telling the truth, it locks him in as the killer, and he cannot get out of it. There you go. But you guys, it's 11 o'clock now, and I think I'm pretty tired myself. And good to see you in here, Alan McMahon, our resident Proberger studier. He's like a Probergologist. That's perfect, man. He's the Probergologist. Yeah, let's see. Do we know 100% that it's not an... Yeah, it is 100%. Not an Alfred plea. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you wouldn't take no appeals and life without parole on an Alfred plea. And the state wouldn't allow you to take an Alfred plea unless their case was somewhat weak, but the defendant doesn't want to take the risk at the higher charges he could have got. He got the worst you could get other than death. So there you go. I think I explained that pretty good right there. Alan McMahon, the burger, well, I think Probergologist. That's perfect, right? How does that look written? Would that be t-shirt worthy? Probergologist. God, I like the look of that. Look at that thing. Well, this is my third show today. But anyways, thanks everybody. Should be back home tomorrow at some point. We'll be able to watch all the different videos if you guys are interested. Definitely need to get the month started off well. So hopefully you guys can, people that didn't support the channel today, maybe you can do tomorrow or whatever. But can the family veto the plea deal for their loved one only? No. And let's see. Thank you to M10, RDWWDR, M10. I always think of WD-40 when I see that name. M10 again. So M10 gifted a membership, and M10 again. Then Wendy Woobles with a cat eye. And then we had Babs Bunny, Joseph F, RMB, Romeo's Heart, gifted 10, Automotive Assistance. Is that your job title? Automotive Assistance. And then M10 with a cat eye. And Winslow GSP. And we have Maria's Kitty Cats, Law Ayers 2B, Ron Hendricks, gifted 5, and Patricia Grizo, gifted 5. Oh, no, we had that. I can't see the bottom of this. I think that's it, right? Did anything come through over here? Maybe a coffee of some sort? Or let's see. And nope. Risks of trial. So somebody sent me the notes from the Brian Enton's thing was risk of trial, even though state's case was solid, risks of mistrial, hung jury, etc. Yeah, that's definitely there. Months-long trials are stressful, emotional, toll on families. Need to quiet the conspiracy theories. The Probergers crazy. State supports. I even brought up the Probergers on when I was on Court TV. Do you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get the obligatory. I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again. Hey, thanks, Roger Sellers. And Alan McMahon. And thanks for all your guys' generosity over the the first 6 months of the year. Appreciate it. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Christy, come on. That was pretty good. They all say, go check it out. Tomorrow after my segment is put out tomorrow, you guys. I want you to go out and read the comments under the comment section. Scroll down, type in the word Gray, search for it, and you'll see it pop up, and they go, I turn you off the second I see Gray. The rest of your guests are great. Yeah. The problem is I'm pretty good at what I do. That's why they have me on the shows. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's weird. It's weird how that works. I've been on Vinny's show for, I would say, 5 different cases, maybe 6. It's not like, here's the Delphi case, there's Gray. Here's this one. I mean, I was on there for that one crazy case out in Idaho. What was the one with the girl that was abducted going to work in the morning? That one. I think even, I got to tell you, the thing that I always thought was so strange, the case where I did the fire camera video, how that never made it onto any shows, it's just mind-boggling. That should have been like the coolest thing ever, but never made it. None of those people covered that stuff. Oh yeah, and then also Madeline Soto. Oh wait, how do you say it? Hi, Moni. How do you say it? How do you say that name? Because I keep saying it wrong, I think. Erie is said like you're. Oh, lawyer? Oh, is that really what you say? Oh, lawyer. Lawyer to be. Okay. I figured it out. Lawyer. Hey, lawyer. Oh, lawyer to be. Okay. Okay, I got it figured out. I'll say it right from now on, okay? Lawyer to be. When are you going to be a lawyer? Lawyer to be. I hope you're going to be not a defense attorney. Those people usually end up having their brains malfunction. Those are the worst people to listen to on YouTube. If you want to hear somebody that makes up every excuse in the world why their client's not guilty, that's the one you want to listen to. Especially when you can see the truth is right there. I mean, of course, you need a good defense attorney, but oh yeah, cool, Lisa. You've been here for like 2.5 years now. Better late than never. I was hoping BK to catch the death penalty. Great work. Hey, thanks. Yeah, we were just about to take off, Mark. And thanks for your support last night. That was cool. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to take off and get some sleep. Just kind of chill out. I need to just sort of veg out for a while. My brain hasn't been able to stop moving today. But I want to say thanks to everybody. Appreciate your support. Successful donation night day 2. Crazy times. All right. So thanks for being here. See you tomorrow. And as I always say, I half my head on the screen. As I always say, until next time, be safe out there. In my best Norm Macdonald voice. All right, see ya.